Hi, friends and viewers. This is our first video with the Unity Frequency Council, and they're just going to come right in and start talking through Megan. Please see our intro video for more on me and Megan, but this video is our first one with the Unity Frequency Council, and here they go.
I may discuss, the Earth is completing a cycle now. All of these stories that you have heard through a lot of your myths and a lot of your speakers and who you claim to be prophets, things like that were fear-based. But what's happening is true. The Earth is completing a cycle. It just is not meant to be a dangerous and fearful experience. It's meant to be a loving and exciting experience. By that cycle, you're releasing. I'll say it in the way of taking off of your muddy shoes. You've been walking around in muddy shoes. You got used to that weight, but removing the weight, you suddenly feel lighter, freer. You can move faster. It seems like a large task to ask you to remove those previous concepts in your minds that these people that spoke were warning you of something. Warning you means danger. Warning you means you need to be prepared, when in truth, there really wasn't a preparation for this in your conscious minds. Most of your subconscious minds understood, but you may notice time differences or feeling something differently, experiencing something differently, spontaneous forgiveness of others, spontaneous changes within your physical structures or even emotions. This is helpful to you. This is a part of this process, is a part of the releasing and the becoming. I'd like to call this chapter of what you're doing is becoming. You've already shed a lot of the weights. Hopefully this makes sense to you. It seems very dangerous to go and dispel some of your, well, I will say sacred works, but I am not here to say that they are incorrect. I am here to say that the way that you are responding to them are incorrect. This end of this cycle is a very beautiful thing. This is what the goal was. End of this cycle means you begin to come together again. As I am looking, I see that this creates a feeling of chaos for you. I can understand, looking at your current circumstances, that it feels chaotic. This feels unstable. But you just went through a period of instability and you survived it. And right now you are better for it. Yes, as I look around, it seems that many of you are asking what to do next or worrying how you can achieve this, moving in to this next phase in the best way that you can. How can I achieve what I want? How can I make sure I'm doing this correctly? How can I create? I don't believe you. You can't tell me that I can just create what I want, but you can. That is the thing. You are all being fed this new energy. And when I say fed, I mean that energy has already been there. It's already there. It's just that now you're able to receive it more.
Interesting.
Does this make sense?
Yes, to me it does.
Each of you are able to tap into more of the energy of creation itself. So many other beings in other dimensions understand this, and this is how they're able to achieve what you think they're achieving. Earlier, we discussed things like telekinesis and these things that you believe are superhuman. These are already concepts that are easily understood logically, but you can't seem to understand that you are capable of that. And part of that is not your fault. Part of that is just the energy that you've been stuck in. It's just a muddier energy. It's more difficult. But now you'll find these sort of concepts of superhumanness not so far-fetched. This is because you are flowing more in the energy of creation itself. I did previously bring up that karmic points are also falling away. This is a part of that releasing and the shadow self and all of these things that many of you are focused on looking, focusing on shedding. To be honest, it was important to your learning process, but they could not fully release until these larger energetic shifts are taking place within the collective. We are getting to this point now that now they're able to fall away without much effort. You've already done the effort, you've already done the work. It's just been hanging there.
Would you say that as a collective, there's been a saturation point that was achieved by a certain percentage of the people for it to
Yes. Yes.
happen in the collective?
This has been foretold for a very long time, and I am very pleased to say that you have made it. There will be another one in about 400 years, but right now, what you do is very important.
Thank you for confirming that.
Well, as the larger collective, you have already chosen this path. You've chosen the path. Now I'm just asking you to choose the path of least resistance. That has yet to be determined. Are you going to be forced into these changes? Are you going to hang on to your previous systems, belief systems, financial systems, governmental systems, whatever it is? Are you going to continue to grip on to these things and not let them go? Or are you going to be open and understand yourself in this transition? When I say understand yourself, I'm saying becoming more of who you truly are, playing with the energy of the creator, because you are. Now you have even more of it. It might scare you to say, if you think of a butterfly in your hand, that butterfly could appear just like that. Would you be fearful of your own power? You created this beautiful butterfly. Why are you afraid of that? This is an example of what you have done for eons. Afraid of your own power, so you must give it away. It is easier to be mice in the cage. But what good
Indeed,
does that really do you?
not
Did that
much.
increase your feeling of safety? It is those that feel that they should have the power that gives you those feelings of increased safety. It is not you that's feeling increased safety because of the cage. It's that you were told that you needed the cage. That this is no fault to you. I'm sure that one day I will discuss a bit more of origin of humanity from my perspective. It seems that many of you were actually built to have these feelings, but I can assure you that you are becoming very free of these ties. You've done your growth.
Exciting.
Yes,
Mm.
I can see that this seems very daunting to some. And it seems that they will ask for more practical terms, which is why I will try to explain using this energy to your benefit in later times. This will be more of a process for you. Right now, I'm just asking you to enjoy it. You have gone through a very difficult transition. The labor pains are fading. So I must congratulate you and thank you for being a part of that. But please remember to enjoy. Right now, many of you are feeding into these feelings of fear and chaos because I understand you are turning on whatever media's and other people's opinions or emotions and perceiving all of this as your true reality. But if I can say that this is not all true reality, you are experiencing someone else's reality. I ask you to confirm your reality, congratulate yourself, and enjoy playing with this new level of energy. You'll find that telepathy is much easier. That might be a fun thing to play with. The concept of manifestation is also quite limited through most of you, but that is real. That's just being creator. But I understand those sort of programs are there meant to help you understand mentally and to work past those previous belief systems. But it will be much larger, much larger. You are entering a new dawn, basically. In that dawn, there is more light. In that light, you can witness more. Only even 20 years ago, if we use this analogy, I would say you were at 8 p.m. Look how much faster you have grown. Now we are at dawn. Does this make sense?
I think so. Would you be interested in sharing your perspective on extraterrestrial or multidimensional being contact with us? People are very curious about this.
Sure. People are very curious. I can see many, many looking and asking and wondering. But what's funny is that I would like to say that while you say extraterrestrial, there are many that are already living within your Earth itself. So would you call that inner terrestrial? Just because they are not human does not mean they're outside of you. They are inhabiting your planet, sharing this universe with you. But you are asking for those that are outside of your planet, and this is correct. They are already there. I would ask you to understand what your current expectations are, because even if you are wishing for something and that were to come true, you would be afraid. You are also taught to be afraid, but it's true, you would be afraid because you would expect them to look a certain way or be a certain way without understanding that it's not about that. It's they will feel a certain way. Most of you are already very familiar with the Pleiadian frequencies. Much of that is coded within your DNA. So you can understand that a bit more, but there are thousands of races that already want to be a part of this. They are just lending their support in different ways. Now, it seems that you have a few things to overcome before this time of full physical contact that you're asking for. You have a few things that you need to do first. I am not going to tell you at this moment, but there will need to be some discoveries made. There will be some discoveries made, but I'm just telling you that these need to happen first to just sort of help you understand it. During this time, I can ask you to take a look at whatever fearful beliefs you have and your previous understandings of what extraterrestrials are. They're not actually extraterrestrials. I would prefer to more say extra dimensionals. They're operating at a different frequency as you, but they are there. In fact, now there are many that are probably standing all around you, but you're unaware of this. There are some beneath your feet, even in the physical form, but you're unaware of this. They have just chosen to live a different way. They want the experience of the three-dimensional earth plane, but not to be a part of humanity. So they're underneath you.
That is interesting. I know that there's rumors of underground places that things are and things live underground in some way. So
Yes.
it's interesting to have that confirmed.
This is true. You will see some of the evidence in some of your rocks. It's very similar to your oceans. Do you truly believe that there's nothing else in your oceans but the fish?
Personally, no.
Right. They are there. Just because you have a concept of what an alien is and what you believe an alien to be, that must be them. That it's very silly to me that you can understand that they are already there. It's just the ones you're hoping for are outside of your current dimension. That doesn't mean they're not accessible to you at this very moment. In fact, they want you to access them. The physicals are already within your Earth because your Earth is in the third dimension, in your oceans underneath your feet.
Right. Your mention of dimensions reminds me of a previous conversation about dimensions in a previous video. I'm sure that sometime you will have a more pointed for this channel
Most likely.
dimensional
Yeah,
dimensional conversation. Yes.
most likely I will need to repeat myself.
So would, from your perspective, would say elephants and dolphins, and other, I suppose, similarly intelligent beings, um, what would those be classified as from your perspective? Like, would those be to us, from our perspective, those might be ETs in the sense, like not extraterrestrial, but already here, conscious, like consciousnesses. Am I making any sense?
Yes, I believe I understand you. So for me to explain this, it's requiring me to at first say that your entire Earth, from the molecule of water to your elephants, your entire Earth is basically a map of your current universe. There is barely anything that is completely 100% native to the Earth. At this point, it is all evolved from other contributions from the universe. So you are correct in saying the dolphin is not native to your Earth. They were given to your Earth. The cats, the trees, so many of it has evolved from the Earth. Some of it may have originated from the Earth, but you consider it of the Earth, but it is not fully of the Earth. That is very silly to think that that's just what it is and everything must be different. In fact, when many of you are showing the concept of alien life forms and alien planets in your medias, sure, some of that is correct, but a lot of it actually looks very similar to what you're experiencing on Earth. But to get more to your point, yes, I will say the elephant. This is the anchor, the three-dimensional anchor of this elephant is actually a being in the seventh dimension. But that third dimensional anchor is the elephant. Still the same being, but it's experiencing the elephant.
I
But it's still
see.
able to exist in that higher dimension.
And so, how is that different than the human in that sense?
It is not. The only difference I'm saying is that it is necessary for your conscious mind to focus on your third dimensional experience. You still are tied through other dimensions. You're still connected, but it is necessary for the human experience to live and function within the conscious third dimensional mind. The elephant may not just be focused on the third dimension, but it is open to experience the other energies. It's just the agreement that's made when you're coming into the third dimension.
So if when people say I can talk about reincarnation, for example, so I myself could come back to experience an animal or something, these are totally correct things that
Yeah.
happen, you know.
Yes. It's just playing with whatever you would like to experience. So
Amazing.
you may now have an animal somewhere on this earth that is connected to your energy. It may be you living in an animal just to have this experience at the same time. But
That's
right now,
funny.
your conscious mind is focused in this third dimension within this body because that's necessary.
That's funny to think about that.
It's a very difficult concept to grasp because, again, you're focused within this third dimensional consciousness.
Okay. I think I'm going to leave that particular thread here so that it doesn't, my brain's already starting to get blown from that level of conversation. So we're gonna move to the
Well,
next
I
topic,
will just
maybe.
answer
Okay.
very practically because people seem to really need to know this that yes, while you already do have contact, in fact, Many of us that are looking from this perspective are growing tired of constantly being asked this question because they are there. If you were to look up in the sky, you would see many, many that are already waiting, going in and out of this dimension. But to just answer that question, yes, there are plans of the full contact that you are hoping for within the next 2 years, maybe 3, depending on how you move forward from here. But pay attention to what is discovered underneath you for now.
Awesome. Thank you. That is wonderful. And I'm sure lots of people watch this video and go and start looking up about discoveries being made. That's fabulous.
Some of them will not be this year. And then many of, this goes into another topic, but there already have been many discoveries that just you're not aware of. They're being kept only within certain circles.
That's applies on many different levels involving discoveries. So I'm personally
Well,
not
yes,
surprised, but
they won't be able to keep them down. The difference is at this time, they will not be able to keep them hidden.